My friends, I want to talk to you about something powerful today, something that has the potential to change your life. When God is preparing you for something big, when He is about to pour out His blessings upon you, there are signs, clear, unmistakable signs that He is moving in your life. And I want you to hear this, not just with your ears, but with your heart. We serve a mighty God, a God who does not make mistakes, who does not do anything halfway. When He blesses abundantly. When He moves in power. And when He is about to give you something big, He prepares you for it. He positions you. He clears the way before you. But the question is, do you see the signs? Do you recognize the hand of God in your life? Throughout the Bible, we see this pattern again and again. Before God does something miraculous, before He elevates, before He brings increase, there are signs. Signs that test our faith, signs that require our patience, signs that demand our trust in Him alone. Think about Joseph. God had a destiny for him, a position of power and influence. But before he stepped into that promise, he saw the signs. His own brothers turned against him. He was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, wrongly accused, imprisoned. But in the midst of every trial, Joseph did not turn away from God. He held on to the vision. And in due time, God lifted him up to the very place He had prepared for him. Maybe some of you are facing trials right now. Maybe you feel like you've been thrown into a pit. Maybe you're wondering why life seems to be getting harder instead of easier. My friend, that may just be the sign that God is preparing you for something bigger than you could ever imagine. Before a great breakthrough, there is often great opposition. Look at the life of David. Anointed as a young shepherd boy, but before he became king, he was hunted like an animal, chased by Saul, forced into caves. But every trial shaped him into the leader God had called him to be. Some of you are in a season of waiting, a season of trials, but do not despise what God is doing. He is refining you. He is preparing you. Another sign that God is about to bless you is that doors begin to close. We don't always like that, do we? We cry out, Lord, why did I lose that job? Why did that relationship through my fingers? But what if that closed door is actually a sign that God is leading you to something greater? You see, sometimes we hold on to things that are too small, things that are not meant for us. And God has to remove them so we can receive His best. The disciples were fishermen before Jesus called them. But when He said, follow me, they had to leave their nets behind. They had to let go of what they knew, what was familiar, so they could step into their true purpose. And some of you, God is asking you to let go, to trust Him, to believe that He has something bigger for you. When God is about to bless you, another sign is that He places a deeper hunger inside of you. Suddenly, the things of this world don't satisfy like they used to. The entertainment, the distractions, they lose their appeal. Your heart starts longing for more of Him. You find yourself seeking Him in prayer, hungering for His word, yearning for His presence. That's not by accident. That's God stirring your spirit, preparing you for greater things. I want you to hear me today. When you sense that hunger, don't ignore it. Don't push it aside. Lean into it. Get into the Word. Spend time in prayer. Seek Him with all your heart. Because when God is about to do something big, He calls His people closer. He calls them to a deeper place. And another sign, my friends, is that you will face tests of obedience. There will be moments when God asks you to step out in faith, to trust Him when it doesn't make sense. Maybe He is calling you to give when you don't have much. Maybe He is asking you to serve when you feel tired. Maybe He is calling you to forgive when you don't want to. But listen to me. Obedience always precedes the blessing. Oh, look at Abraham. God told him to leave his home, his country, his family, and go to a land that He would show him. No map, no explanation, just a promise, and Abraham obeyed. And because he obeyed, God blessed him beyond measure. Some of you, God is asking you to step out in faith. He is asking you to trust Him in the unknown. And I want to tell you today, if you obey, you will see His hand move in ways you never imagined. Finally, one of the greatest signs that God is about to do something big is that the enemy attacks. Oh yes, when the enemy sees that God is moving in your life, he does everything he can to stop it. He brings distractions, discouragement, doubt. He whispers lies, tries to stir up fear, tries to make you question God's promises. But let me tell you something. The enemy does not attack. He had to learn how to fight battles in the wilderness before he could stand on the battlefield against Goliath. He had to endure betrayal, rejection, and hard circumstances will try to discourage you. You may even feel like giving up, but hear me today. Do not grow weary in doing good. Do not give up right before your breakthrough, because if you hold on, if you stand firm, if you trust in God's promises, you will see the blessing come to pass. Look at Job. He lost everything, his wealth, his children, and yet he did not turn away from God. He remained faithful. And because he remained faithful, God restored him. He gave him double for his trouble. And some of you, you have been through the fire. You've been tested. You have been stretched. But God is about to restore you. He is about to give you double for your trouble. He is about to show you that he is a faithful God. Here, I don't know who this is for today, but I want to tell you your blessing is closer than you think. Your breakthrough is nearer than you realize. God has not forgotten you. He has not abandoned you. He is working all things together for your good. Hold on, my friend. Keep believing, keep trusting, keep standing, because when God is about to give you something big, no devil in hell can stop it. No man can block it. No circumstance can hinder it. Your season is changing. Your time is coming. And when it comes, you will look back and say, it was only by the grace of God. Some of you have been crying out to God, asking, Lord, why is this happening to me? Why am I facing so much difficulty? And I want you to know that God has heard your cries. He sees your tears. He knows the weight you are carrying. And what you are going through is not in vain. Every trial, every hardship, every moment of struggle, it is not wasted. It is shaping you. It is preparing you. It is making you ready for the blessing that is coming. Think about Elijah. He was a mighty prophet, a man of great faith. But even he had moments where he felt weary. There was a time when he had just experienced a great victory on Mount Carmel, where God showed his power by consuming the sacrifice with fire from heaven. But right after that, Elijah found himself running for his life, hiding in a cave, feeling like he was all alone. He said, Lord, I have had enough. Maybe some of you feel that way right now. You've been standing, you've been believing, you've been faithful, but you feel exhausted. You feel like the battle is never ending. You feel like you have given all you have. But let me tell you what happened next. God met Elijah in that cave. He spoke to him not in the earthquake, not in the fire, but in a still small voice. And he told Elijah, get up. Your journey is not over yet. And I want to tell you today, your journey is not over yet. The enemy wants to wear you down. He wants to make you quit. But God is saying, rise up, keep going. I have more for you. When God is about to bless you, another sign is that he will give you strength you didn't even know you had. You will find yourself pressing forward when you thought you couldn't take another step. You will find yourself praising him when you thought you had no more words left, because God's grace is sufficient. His power is made perfect in weakness. And when you feel like you have nothing left, that's when God steps in and says, I will carry you. There are some of you who have been overlooked for too long. You've been faithful in the little things. You've served without recognition. You've given without expecting anything in return. And you've been wondering, does God even see me? And I want you to hear this. Yes, he sees you. He has not forgotten you. He has seen your faithfulness in the hidden place, and he is about to reward you openly. Look at Esther. She was just a young Jewish girl, unknown, unnoticed, but God had a purpose for her life. He positioned her in the palace not for comfort, luxury, but for a divine assignment. And when the time came, she stepped into that calling. And God used her to save an entire nation. Some of you have been wondering why God placed you where you are, why he put you in a job that seems insignificant, why he surrounded you with certain people. But let me tell you, he has placed you exactly where you need to be for such a time as this. You may not see it now, but he is setting you up for a divine moment. And when that moment comes, when God opens the door, you must be ready to step through it. Don't hesitate. Don't doubt. Don't let fear hold you back. Because when God moves, he moves quickly. When he releases his blessing, he does it suddenly. The Bible says that Paul and Silas were locked up in prison, beaten, chained, surrounded by guards. But instead of complaining, instead of giving into fear, they began to praise God. And as they praised, something happened. The earth shook. The prison doors flew open and their chains fell off. I want you to hear me today. When you begin to praise God in the middle of your storm, when you worship Him, even when you don't see the answer yet, you are setting yourself up for a breakthrough. Chains are about to break in your life. Doors that were shut are about to swing wide open because your praise is a weapon. Some of you, the enemy has tried to silence you. He has tried to make you doubt, tried to make you discouraged. But I want to tell you today, do not let the enemy steal your praise. Do not let him take your worship. Because the moment you lift up your voice in faith, the moment you declare the goodness of God in the middle of your struggle, something shifts in the spiritual realm. Look at the Israelites when they marched around the walls of Jericho. God told them on the seventh day, shout. And when they obeyed, when they raised their voices in faith, the walls came crashing down. Some of you, your walls are about to fall. That thing that has been standing in your way, that obstacle that has seemed impossible, it is about to crumble. But you have to be willing to trust God's process. You have to be willing to keep marching, to keep believing, to keep standing in faith even when it doesn't make sense. Because when God moves, He does it in a way that leaves no doubt. He alone did. He does it so that when you look back, you will say, if it had not been for the Lord on my side, where would I be? I want to tell you today, your story is not over. The best is yet to come. What God is about to do in your life will be greater than anything you've seen before. The doors He is about to open will be beyond what you prayed for. The favor He is about to release will shock those around you. The blessing He is preparing will leave no room for doubt. It was God. But here's the key. You must be ready. You must stay in position. You must not let go of your faith. Because when God is about to do something big, the enemy will do everything he can to distract you. He will send doubts. He will send delays. He will try to make you lose hope. But hear me today. Do not quit before your breakthrough. Do not stop praying before the answer comes. Do not walk away before you see the promise fulfilled. Because those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint. Your waiting is not in vain. Your faithfulness is not forgotten. Your prayers have not been unheard. And the God who began a good work in you is faithful to complete it. So I challenge you today, stand firm. Keep believing, keep praising, keep expecting. Because when God is about to bless you, nothing can stop it. No man can delay it. No circumstance can hinder it. And when He moves in power. The blessing is coming. The breakthrough is near. And when it happens, you will know it was the hand of God. When God is about to do something big in your life, He doesn't just prepare the blessing. He prepares you for the blessing. He strengthens your spirit, sharpens your discernment, and removes the weights that would hold you back. You may not understand why you're going through the season of pruning, but trust me when I tell you it is necessary. Look at Joseph. God gave him a dream, a vision of greatness. He saw himself in a position of authority, a place of blessing. But before he could walk in that promise, he had to walk through the pit. He had to endure betrayal. He had to be falsely accused. He had to be forgotten in a prison cell. Why? Because God was preparing him. And some of you, God has given you a vision, a calling, a promise. But before you step into it, there are some things He has to refine in you. There are some areas where He has to increase your faith, stretch your patience, deepen your dependence on Him. Because the greater the blessing, the greater the preparation. A seed does not grow into a tree overnight. It must go deep into the soil. It must endure the pressure, the darkness, the waiting. And only when the time is right does it break through the surface and begin to bear fruit. And I want to tell you, some of you are in that deep hidden place right now. It feels like nothing is happening. It feels like you're stuck. But don't mistake the delay for denial. Don't mistake the waiting for abandonment. God is at work beneath the surface. He is growing your roots, strengthening your foundation so that when He brings you into the blessing, you will be able to sustain it. Because let me tell you something, God doesn't just want to bless you. He wants you to keep the blessing. God doesn't just want to give you a breakthrough. He wants to make you amazing by taking breakthroughs. He wants you to bless you. He wants you to make you amazing. But I want you to be amazing, and I want you to be amazing. Look at Solomon. God blessed him with wisdom, with wealth, with influence. But in the end, Solomon turned away from God. He let the blessing pull him away from the one who gave it to him. And I want to tell you today, if the blessing is bigger than your character, it will crush you. If the platform is greater than your humility, it will destroy you. And that is why God is taking you through this process. That is why He is allowing you to be tested, because He is preparing you to handle what is coming. He is making sure that when the blessing arrives, it won't take you away from Him. It will draw you closer. And when the blessing comes, when the breakthrough happens, there will be no doubt it was the hand of God. It won't be because of your connections. It won't be because of your own strength. It won't be because of luck or chance. It will because God did it. That's why the battle has been so hard. That's why the enemy has fought you so fiercely, because he knows what's coming. He sees the blessing ahead. He sees the favor God is about to release. And he is trying everything he can to stop you before you get there. But hear me today. The enemy cannot stop what God has ordained. No attack, no delay, no opposition can cancel the plans God has for you. He is the God who makes a way where there is no way. He is the God who opens doors no man can shut. He is the God who calls things that are not as though they were. And I want to tell you today, do not let the enemy make you quit before your breakthrough. Do not let him make you give up before you see the promise fulfilled. Because what God has spoken over your life will come to pass. Look at Daniel. He was thrown into a den of lions for his faith. The enemy thought it was over. The enemy thought he had won. But the next morning, when the king came to check on him, Daniel was still standing because God had shut the mouths of the lion. And I want to tell you today, the lions that were meant to destroy you, God is about to silence them. The enemy that thought he had defeated you is about to see you rise. Because when God is for you, who can be against you? Some of you have been surrounded by opposition. You've been attacked from every side. You've been through things that should have broken you. But hear me, you are still here. The fact that you are still standing is proof that God has been with you. The fire didn't consume you. The storm didn't drown you. The enemy didn't destroy you. Because God has a plan for your life, and His plan will prevail. And when God moves, it happens suddenly. Look at the woman with the issue of blood. She had suffered for 12 years. She had spent everything she had. She had tried every doctor, every cure, but nothing worked. And then suddenly Jesus passed by. And in a moment, with just one touch, everything changed. Some of you have been waiting for years. You've been praying, believing, holding on. And I want you to know you are closer than you think. The enemy wants to make you believe that nothing is changing. But God is saying, just hold on a little longer, because when your moment comes, it will happen suddenly. Doors that have been closed for years will open in an instant. Chains that have held you back will break in a moment. The favor that seemed delayed will come rushing in like a flood. And when it happens, you will know it was the hand of God. Some of you have been wrestling with doubt. You've been wondering, Lord, is this really for me? Am I really called? Can you really do this in my life? And I want to tell you today, yes, if God spoke it, He will do it. If He promised it, He will fulfill it. His word never returns void. His plans never fail. And what He has spoken over your life will come to pass. But you have to believe. You have to stand firm. You have to trust that He is who He says He is. Because let me tell you, the enemy doesn't fight people who aren't a threat. If you're facing opposition, it's because there's a calling on your life. If the battle has been intense, it's because the breakthrough is near. And I want to encourage you today, do not let the pressure make you quit. Do not let the waiting make you lose hope. Because in just a little while, God is about to show up in your life in a way that will leave you in awe. He is the God who parts the Red Sea, the God who brings down walls with a shout, the God who raises the dead, and He is the same God who is working in your life right now. So stand strong, keep believing, keep pressing forward. Because when God is about to give you something big, the enemy may try to stop it, but he cannot succeed. The battle may be fierce, but the victory is already won. Your breakthrough is coming, your blessing is near. And when it happens, you will testify, look what the Lord has done. And I want you to understand something today. God's timing is not like our timing. We may feel like we've been waiting too long, that the answer should have come by now, that the promise should have already been fulfilled. But God does not operate on our schedule. He is never late, never early, but always right on time. Think about Abraham. God gave him a promise that he would be the father of many nations. But years passed and nothing seemed to be happening. His body grew older and Sarah's womb remained barren. They were past the age of bearing children. And in the natural, it seemed impossible. But God is not limited by the natural. He is not bound by time, by age, by human constraints. What looks impossible to man is possible with God. And at the appointed time, Sarah gave birth to Isaac, the child of promise. Some of you have been carrying a promise from God. You've been waiting, praying, standing in faith, and the enemy has whispered in your ear, it's too late. It's never going to happen. Maybe you heard God wrong. But I am here to tell you today, if God spoke it, he will do it. If he gave you the promise, he will bring it to pass. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter how much time has passed. If God said it, it is already done in the spiritual realm. And in his perfect timing, it will manifest in your life. Do not let the waiting make you weary. Do not let the delay make you doubt, because just when you think it's over, just when you feel like giving up, that's when God moves. That's when he steps in and does the impossible. Look at Lazarus. He had been dead for 4 days. The situation seemed hopeless. People had already mourned, already accepted the loss. But Jesus wasn't finished. He arrived at the tomb and spoke 3 words that changed everything. Lazarus, come forth. And I want to tell you today, God is speaking over your situation. He is speaking life into the things that look dead. He is speaking resurrection over the promises that seemed buried. He is speaking restoration over the dreams that felt lost, because he is the God who brings dead things back to life. The God who revives what the enemy tried to destroy. The God who turns mourning into dancing, sorrow into joy, ashes into beauty. And when he moves suddenly. Some of you have been experiencing a shaking. Things in your life have been shifting. Doors have been closing. People have been walking away. And you've been wondering, God, what is happening? But I want you to hear this. Before God takes you higher, he has to remove what cannot go with you. Before he releases the blessing, he has to remove the distractions, the wrong connections, the things that would hold you back. Not everyone can go where God is taking you. Not everything in your life can be carried into your next season. Some things have to be left behind. Some relationships, some mindsets, some habits, some environments. They were for a season, but they cannot go with you into your destiny. And yes, the process can be painful. Yes, the separation can be difficult. But trust me when I say what God has ahead of you is greater than what you are leaving behind. Look at the Israelites. God was leading them to the promised land, a land flowing with milk and honey. But before they could enter, they had to leave Egypt. They had to walk away from the place of bondage, the place of limitation, the place of oppression. And some of you, God is calling you out of Egypt. He is calling you out of small thinking. He is calling you out of fear, out of complacency, out of cycles that have kept you stuck, because you were not created to live in lack. You were not created to settle for less than God's best. There is a promised land waiting for you. There is abundance, favor, and destiny ahead. But you have to be willing to step out. You have to be willing to trust God even when you don't see the full picture. Even when the journey is uncomfortable. Even when the wilderness feels long, because the wilderness is not your final destination. It is only the path to the promise. And let me tell you, when God brings you into that blessing, when he fulfills the promise, when he shows up in your life in a way that leaves no doubt that it was him, you won't even miss what you left behind. Because what God has for you is always better than what you thought you wanted. Some of you have been praying for something specific, asking God to bless a certain area of your life, but he hasn't answered the way you expected. And I want you to know, sometimes God's no is actually a not yet. Sometimes his wait is actually a setup for something greater. Look at Hannah. She prayed for years for a child. She wept. She fasted. She cried out to God. And for a long time, it seemed like he was silent. But God was not ignoring her. He was preparing her. Because the child she would give birth to, Samuel, was not just any child. He was a prophet, a man who would anoint kings, a leader for the nation of Israel. And some of you, God is not denying your requests. He is perfecting the timing. He is preparing the blessing. He is aligning everything so that when he gives it to you, it will not just be a blessing for you, but for generations to come. You see, God doesn't just think about today. He sees the bigger picture. He sees the legacy, the impact, the influence you will have. And that's why he sometimes allows you to go through the fire. That's why he sometimes lets the storm rage a little longer. Not to break you, but to refine you, not to weaken you, but to strengthen you. Because when gold is put into the fire, it isn't destroyed, it is purified. The impurities are burned away. The things that don't belong are removed. And what comes out is stronger, more valuable, more radiant than before. And I want you to know your fire is not for nothing. Your trials are not meaningless. God is using every hardship, every challenge, every tear to refine you, to prepare you, to position you for what he is about to release in your life. So don't give up now. Don't stop believing now. Don't let the enemy convince you that this is the end of your story, because what is ahead is greater than what is behind. The blessing is coming. The promise is near. And when it happens, you will look back and say, it was worth it, because our God is faithful, and he always keeps his word. And so, my friends, I want you to hold on. Hold on to the promises of God. Hold on to your faith. Hold on even when you don't understand, because when God is about to do something big, he always prepares his people. The waiting, the trials, the pruning, it's all part of his process to shape you into who you need to be for where he is taking you. Do not grow weary in wallowing. Do not let the weight of the journey make you doubt the destination. What God has spoken over your life is still coming to pass. The doors he has ordained for you are still opening. The favor he has set aside for you is still being released. You may not see it yet, but the breakthrough is closer than you think. The enemy has tried to stop you, but he cannot stop what God has decreed. Your blessing is on the horizon. Your testimony is being written. And when it happens, you will look back and say, I see now God was with me all along. So stand firm. Keep believing, because the best is yet to come. And what God has for you, no one can take away.